Hello, Chris Smith here from Storytelling Schools with another story for you. This one's called The Unlucky Man. And if you find yourself sometimes thinking how unlucky you are, this is the story for you. Because once, not twice, not thrice, but just once, there was a man who thought himself unlucky. He thought his house was too small. He thought his job was too boring. He thought his money was too little. He thought he just would never find a wife or even a girlfriend. Nothing seemed to work for him. He just didn't have any luck. Everybody else had the luck. He didn't have any. And he moaned and he moaned and he moaned. And maybe you know how it is with moaners. People got bored with him. They stopped being his friend. They stopped listening until he had just one friend left. And after one moaning session, the friend said, I tell you what I think you should do. I think you should go up the magic mountain and talk to the wise man who lives on the top. He'll tell you what to do. And so the unlucky man got excited. He thought, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And next day he went walking as fast as he could towards the magic mountain. And as he walked towards the mountain, he sang this song. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, nothing works for me. And he sang and he sang and he sang until he came to the foot of the mountain. And there on the ground, he saw a wolf, an old wolf, a mangy, skinny wolf with bones, ribs sticking through its fur and maggots all over it. And as the unlucky man went past, the wolf looked up and said, Oi, excuse me, where are you going in such a hurry? The unlucky man said, I'm going to the top of the mountain to ask the wise man why I don't have any luck. He'll tell me what to do. And the wolf said, oh, right, well, while you're up there, could you ask him why I'm sick all the time and what I should do? Sure, said the unlucky man. I'll ask him. Bye. And he went walking up the hill as fast as he could, singing his song. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, nothing works for me. He walked and he walked and he walked until he came to a tree, a thin tree, a leafless tree. And as he was walking past, the tree bent over and said, Ooh, excuse me, where are you going in such a hurry? The unlucky man says, well, I'm going to the top of the mountain to talk to the wise man to find out why I don't have any luck. And the tree said, oh, well, could you ask the wise man why I'm so thin and all my leaves have fallen off? Okay, said the unlucky man, I'll do it. Bye. And off he went, walking up the mountain, singing his song. I'm so unlucky, unlucky as can be. I'm so unlucky, nothing works for me. He came to a cottage. Standing in the doorway of the cottage was a young woman. And she had a frown on her face. She said, Oi! Where are you going in such a hurry? He said, I'm going to the top of the mountain to ask the wise man why I don't have any luck. She said, oh, well, could you ask him why I'm so miserable all the time? Sure, said the man. Bye. And he went up to the top of the mountain, and when he got there, the wise man was sitting outside his hut with a big smile on his face and a peaceful vibe coming out from him. And the unlucky man said, I've come all this way to ask you this question. Why am I so unlucky? Why does everybody else have the luck and not me? And the wise man said, I'll tell you, luck is all around you. Go home and look around you and you will find that luck is everywhere. You just have to see it and take it. And the unlucky man said, really great, that's great news. I'll go back home fast as I can and do that. Oh, and by the way, I got some questions for some friends. And he asked the questions and the wise man gave the answers. And then the unlucky man, feeling lucky, started running down the hill, singing a new song. I'm so lucky, lucky as can be. I'm so lucky it's gonna work for me. He came to the cottage. The young woman is there outside. She says, hey, stop. Did you ask my question about why I'm so miserable? And the unlucky man said, yeah. He said that you're lonely. You should get yourself a husband. And she looked him up and down. And she said, oh, you look quite nice. You look quite handsome. And he looked at her and she looked quite lovely too, he thought. And she said, how about you marry me? Then we could be happy together. And the unlucky man said, sorry, I haven't got time. I've got to do what I've told. I've got to go home and look around for my luck. Bye. And he went running off down the hill, singing his song. I'm so lucky, lucky as can be. I'm so lucky it's gonna work for me. He came to the tree. The tree said, ooh, hi, did you ask my question? He says, yeah, I asked. And he said, the reason that you're like you are, thin and leafless, is you've got a box of treasure under your roots. You should get someone to dig it up and then you'll be fine. So the tree says, oh, would you dig it up? You can have the treasure. I don't want it. I'm a tree. Okay, said the man, that I would like to help, but sorry, I'm in a hurry. I've got to go home to look for my luck. That's what he's told me to do. So sorry, can't help. Bye. And he ran off down the hill, excited. I'm so lucky, lucky as can be. I'm so lucky it's gonna work for me. He came to the wolf. The wolf says, oi, did you ask me a question? And the unlucky man said, yes, I did. He said, the reason you're sick all the time is that you're hungry. You don't eat enough. So you should eat the first fool that comes along. And that's exactly what the wolf did. And that was the end of the unlucky man. Let that be a lesson to you all. So there you have it. That is the story of the unlucky man, an English folktale originally, I believe. And now, as usual, here's 7 things that you can do with it. Let's see what we've got today. So first of all, like all our stories, if you want to, you can learn to tell it the way I've told it to you right now using our method. Hear it, map it, step it, and speak it. So you've heard me tell it. You can hear me tell it a few times to start off with, and then draw yourself a little story map. Here's an example that I've done. So a story map, a few simple, quick pictures to help remind you of the sequence of events in the story. Not an art class, just little sketches. Here's the unlucky man being unhappy. Here's the friend telling him to go to the mountain. Here's the wolf. Here's the tree. Here's the woman in the cottage. Here's the wise man telling him his luck is all around him. Here she asks him to marry and he says, no, I haven't got time, I've got to look for my luck. The tree says treasure, he says, no, haven't got time, got to look for my luck. And the wolf eats him up, and that's the end of the unlucky man. So that's my quick story map to remind me what happens. And then, of course, you can step it. See if I can show you stepping for the unlucky man. It's physical gestures and maybe a word or two to help you remember. So first step, why am I so unhappy? Second step, go to the mountain. Third step, the wolf. Fourth step, the tree. Why am I so thin? Next step, the woman. Why am I so miserable? Then we got the wise man at the top. Your luck is all around you. And then let's step back. So she says, marry me. He says, no, I need to look for my luck. The tree says, take my treasure. He says, no, I need to look for my luck. And then the wolf eats him. And that's the end of him. So that's kind of story stepping. You can imagine doing it in a straight line with big steps between each scene so that you really get the sense of sequencing and what happens first and what happens next. And when you can step it, after you've stepped it, try telling it to somebody or tell it to your digital device and record yourself as a storyteller. Let's see what else we've got here. So something about the learnings in this story that I love. So maybe soon after learning it, you might want to chat about what is it that you can get from this story. What is it about thinking you don't have any luck, thinking that things aren't working for you, that makes the character in this story unhappy? And what can you learn from what he doesn't learn in the story? It's a tragedy because he dies, so let's learn from other people's mistakes so we don't repeat them. That's all about the learnings here. So see what you can learn from this story by chatting with someone else. Bit of drama, always good. bit that I might choose at the beginning would be a role play, like take the friend and the unlucky man, and if you've got two of you, one of you could be the friend, one of you could be the unlucky man. You could kind of role play developing that scene where he's moaning about how many things, and the friend is listening and getting more and more fed up and tries to make suggestions, but it doesn't work. So you could practice that miserable conversation, and then the friend at the end saying, "Oh, I can't help you, so why don't you go to the mountain and talk to the wise man?" You could do a bit of art with it, maybe draw a picture of him the way you see the unlucky man, and then if you want to, you could label it a little bit. So what words would you describe his appearance? What's his mouth like? What's his eyes like? What's his shoulders like? What's his hair like? Just what does he look like, and what does that tell us about him? And then what are the inner qualities? So get a bunch of words, and then you could do some writing with them afterwards, pen portrait or whatever you like. Talk about the good things around you. So maybe, if the wise man's advice is luck is all around you, but you have to look for it, you have to find it. So for all of us, great exercise, what luck is all around us and how can we find it? Nice thing to do, a good habit for a happy mind. So you could have a talk about that, have a think about that, make a list of that. Some people have little journals, and every morning they make a little list of the things around them that they are grateful for. That's the same kind of practice as that. Now, let's do a little bit of presentation. Let's imagine you're a professor of happiness, let's say a psychology professor. Develop a presentation on how to be happy and how to know that you have luck and be happy with it. You could use the learnings from that story to build it into a speech. And finally, last but not least, well, why not just take the story and write your own version? Change it a bit, change it a lot, do what you like, but get into this story, that great story of the unlucky man and how unlucky he was from start to finish because he didn't learn and he didn't change. So let that be a lesson to us all, and I hope you enjoy the story and you benefit from it in all the ways that stories can help, and that it leaves you feeling perhaps just a little bit less unlucky. Enjoy, and I'll see you again soon.